Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Nitro Joe here. I just wanted to take you through the latest addition I just did to my bass boat. And basically, it's installing these LED lights. And I installed them without making any holes at all. That's just an end piece that I glued in place. I will show you later on in this video my trick of how I mounted them. And I did not make any holes. Fished the wires through there and finished it off with a heat shrink tube in at the end and glued that. I have a couple under the seats. Well, I'll show you later on at nighttime. Hard to see right now. And I will walk you through how I installed them, step-by-step trick, so that this bond's really good. Again, no holes. I fished the wire through the little vents. No holes at all on my deck. I didn't want to drill any. But I did drill underneath. Just one little hole here that I didn't worry about. You don't see that, as well as the other side. Also, my switches. Bought this switch also on Amazon, a little dimmer switch. Basically powers on right here, and I bought this dimmer switch that works fantastic. Dims really dim and full brightness if you want. I like it a little lower. I don't know how well you can see that, but I'll show you later on when it gets dark. And also I'll show you a little trick of how I installed my LEDs, that they stick on really well. Right back. I'll show you guys a little tip and trick what I did to install my LEDs. Basically, this little strip I'm going to put in here, that's going to go right from my vent that I had here. So I'm trying to avoid to drill any holes in my fiberglass boat, and I didn't. The only ones I did drill holes is underneath my seats, which is fine. I don't see any, but my whole deck I didn't drill any. So what I did is basically I fished it through one of these holes. I had to make the hole a little bit bigger, silicone the end piece onto it, and then I'll show you later on how I'm going to glue this, or not glue it, but use the 3-way tape for it to bond really well. So I had to join all these wires together here. One is going around to the other side for this, and one is obviously for here, and the other one is coming from the lights underneath my seat. So what you want to do is not just twist, tie, and tape these together, because it is marine use and you want to seal it. So it is tin wire, which is good for marine use, and you want to heat shrink these on here. Well, basically the two coming out from the other side, one from the other seat and one from the other light. I'm going to glue, heat shrink that together, and then I'm going to heat shrink this one together. And once that's all heat shrink, I have a bigger heat shrink that's going to heat shrink all of them together, so it's all nicely sealed. Before you solder them together, is make sure you have your heat shrinks already in there. Like you got the one heat shrink here and on this before you actually solder all these wires together, or else you can't do it after. So I just finished heat shrinking these two to all the wires going to the other side of my boat. And what I'm going to do is I got one big heat shrink going over the other ones, so it's really sealed. And you got to be careful. You got a hot heat gun, and make sure you're not close to the paint. And make sure you got a good flow of heat there, and nicely seal that. You want to get it good so that the glue starts coming out, but be careful you don't get close to the LEDs because you'll melt them. And that looks pretty good there. And also the other end. There's no way that that's going to be protected from all the elements. That's a nice seal bond. Just put a little bit of pressure on there, make sure the glue's coming out, and That's good. So I let that blow dryer run for about 5 minutes. You can shut it off now. And that's, you warmed up the surface. The LEDs are warmed up from turning them on. I heated that up with the heat gun. It's warmed up now. The surface is warm. It's a kind of a cool day, but as long as you heat it up with, I use a blow dryer or a heat gun. Heat gun, you got to be very careful, obviously. Pull your backing tape back, maybe that much, just to start it a little bit. And, put a little tiny bit of pressure down. So it's right on top of this trim plastic molding here. And as you're feeding it, just put pressure on the light. And you could feel like that thing's bonding really, really, really good. So you work your way all the way down, put pressure on it as you're going through. And go right to the end, and I'll just show you a little tip I do at the end. I'll put a little bit of silicone on this as well, and let that sit overnight with some pressure on it. Little piece I wanted to show you before you do the last little section here is you want to put a little bit of silicone on the end here. Try not to put too much. You don't need that much because you don't want this piece that doesn't have any 3M on it. You don't want it to be lifting up, because it'll be a temptation to pull the whole thing up. So, work that last little bit down and squeeze her really good. And this last little piece here with the silicone, what you want to do is put like maybe a hammer there and let it sit overnight and let it dry. And you're all done. What I want to show you is the last little piece where I got something really heavy. It's a bit of overkill, like a sledgehammer, but anyway, just to put pressure on that little piece there with some silicone, and that'll seal overnight, and that'll be a permanent bond. And make sure you're using marine grade silicone, of course. And that's it. She'll look good. We're at night now, and I just want to show you how it looks at nighttime. I think it's pretty cool. I don't even have it full brightness right now. I just turned them about halfway on. I don't know how much I'll use it, but I think it's just cool to have. That's the lights at the bottom of the seats. Light up the little area where your feet are. Gotta love it. I just wanted to mention one thing about the switches here. Obviously the main power switch is just to turn it off and on. But the actual dimmer that I got from Amazon, it's a little dial dimmer, that also dims them right down. Full brightness, a little bit too bright. But that also has a switch too, so you can shut it off, turn it on. If you happen to forget to have it on, just the main power will shut everything off. Yeah, if you guys have any comments and concerns, I'll answer whatever I can. I'll try to put some links to where I got all the parts. Basically, they're all from Amazon. The lighting, the dimmer switch, and also the wiring. Everything's from Amazon. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you soon.